To our top story this morning, cyclone relief has turned into latest flashpoint between Centre and West Bengal. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, BJP is cornering Mamata over her absence in Prime Minister-led cyclone relief meeting. Home Minister is in a stinging attack. Said that Mamata's no-show at Prime Minister's meeting shows that she has put her arrogance ahead of public welfare. Union Minister Javadekar terms the incident a black day in India's democracy. BJP claims Mamata made Prime Minister Modi and Bengal Governor Jagdish Dhankar wait for half an hour in the cyclone relief meeting, and as per sources, she stormed out of the meeting. Mamata's office hit back at BJP's charges, saying that she was asked by the PMO to delay her arrival by 20 minutes so that it won't delay Prime Minister's itinerary. Moreover, on her storming out of the meeting charge, Mamata's office said that she submitted the documents in a one-to-one meeting with Prime Minister and asked for permission before leaving for Digha to assess the damage.
The elections are over. The results are out. But the Mamata-Modi war continues. On Friday, Prime Minister Modi and Mamata Banerjee came face-to-face for the first time after the acrimonious Bengal Assembly elections. And the bitter relations between the centre and Bengal was more than evident. After landing at the Kalaikunda Air Force Base in the afternoon, Modi chaired a key meet to assess the damage caused by Cyclone Yas. BJP sources claim Didi stormed into the meeting and handed over a damage assessment report to the Prime Minister after making him wait for 30 minutes.
Prime Minister একটা মিটিং ডেকেছিলেন, কিন্তু আমরা তো জানতাম না আমাদের দীঘায় প্রোগ্রাম ছিল, সুতরাং তবুও আমরা সেখান থেকে আবার কলাইকুণ্ডায় গিয়েছিলাম এবং কলাইকুণ্ডায় গিয়ে প্রধানমন্ত্রীর হাতে আমাদের যা ক্ষয়ক্ষতি হয়েছে তার একটা রিপোর্ট আমার সাথে চিফ সেক্রেটারি আলাপন বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় ছিল, আমরা হাতে তুলে দিয়ে বলেছি এইটা হচ্ছে আমাদের রিপোর্ট এবং আপনি যা ভালো বুঝবেন তাই করবেন।
But the Chief Minister's office claims that the PMO asked Mamata to delay her arrival as Modi was 20 minutes behind the schedule. The BJP slammed Mamata, saying her decision not to attend the review meeting was against the spirit of cooperative federalism.
আমরা জানতে পারলাম মুখ্যমন্ত্রী কলাইকুণ্ডার প্রধানমন্ত্রী মিটিংয়ে যাচ্ছেন না। জানি না কেন উনি ডিসিশন নিয়েছেন। উনি যতদূর জানিয়েছেন যে বিরোধী দলনেতা মাননীয় শুভেন্দু অধিকারী উপস্থিত থাকবেন, তাই তিনি যাবেন না। এখন সাধারণ মানুষের জীবনের মধ্যে যে সংকট এসেছে তার চেয়ে তার কাছে রাজনীতি বড়। এটা ওনার পুরনো অভ্যাস।
Reports suggest that Didi was angry that her arch rival Suvendu Adhikari too was invited for the review meeting. The centre says it had invited all opposition leaders to the Prime Minister's meeting. Home Minister Amit Shah joined the Bengal Governor and others in lashing out at the CM, saying she was putting her ego above the state's interests.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's review meeting over the impact of Yas in West Bengal was not attended by the state's Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee. However, she made it clear that she had taken a prior time where she went and met the Prime Minister before the review meeting. The time of this meeting was still not known. With camera person Prabir Biswas, this is Suryagni Roy for India Today, Kolkata.
In an all-out vaccine politics that has erupted and escalated, once again, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi launched a scathing attack on Prime Minister Modi over the handling of COVID-19, accusing Prime Minister Narendra Modi of doing drama instead of fighting the contagious virus. The BJP hit back with Javadekar pledging vaccine for everybody by 2021. Paulami Saha with this report.
The big vaccine face-off escalates. Rahul Gandhi has now launched a blistering attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, questioning the centre's COVID management and vaccination strategy.
फर्स्ट वेव ठीक है, उसमें बात समझ नहीं आई, वो अलग चीज है। मगर ये जो सेकंड वेव है, ये प्रधानमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी है। प्रधानमंत्री ने जो नौटंकी की, प्रधानमंत्री ने जो अपनी जिम्मेदारी पूरी नहीं की, इसका कारण सेकंड वेव है। वैक्सीनेशन स्ट्रेटेजी के बारे में सोचिए, वायरस को समझिए और जिस प्रकार से आप काम कर रहे हैं उसको बदलिए, क्योंकि आपके काम करने के तरीके से लाखों लोग मरे हैं।
The Modi government mounted a scathing counter-attack.
ये नौटंकी शब्द का उपयोग करते हैं ऐसे प्रयासों का, ये देश का और जनता का अपमान है। बताना चाहूंगा, हम उनकी नौटंकी ऐसा शब्द नहीं यूज करेंगे क्योंकि उनकी नौटंकी जनता ने कब की बंद कर दी है।
Rejecting the Congress charges, the centre, on its part, has also pledged to vaccinate the entire country by the end of the year.
दिसंबर तक 216 करोड़ डोसेस, यानी 108 करोड़ लोगों का वैक्सीनेशन कैसे होगा, इसका पूरा खाका दिया है।
The Modi government and opposition are in a crossfire over vaccines over the last few days. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had attacked the centre on Thursday.
Why did our government export 6 crore vaccines between January and March 2021 while vaccinating only 3.5 crore Indians during the same period of time? The government of India owes the people of India answers. We have to ask them questions and they will have to answer to us.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been continuously flagging up vaccine shortage in the national capital.
वैक्सीन कंपनियों ने साफ-साफ कह दिया कि वे राज्य सरकारों से बात नहीं करेंगे, केवल केंद्र सरकार से बात करेंगे। तो फिर देश वैक्सीन क्यों नहीं खरीद रहा? इस वक्त हमारा देश कोरोना महामारी के खिलाफ युद्ध कर रहा है।
Centre says it was the states that wanted to directly procure vaccines from manufacturers, but when granted the possibility of doing so, failed at it to a large extent. However, the centre promises that by the end of the year, 200 crore vaccine doses will be available. With the centre and the states trading charges, it is still unclear as to who is to be blamed for the vaccine shortage the country is presently experiencing. Polami Saha in Delhi for India Today.
Mega India Today impact after we reported that 20 people have been given different vaccines in their first and second dose in UP's Siddharthnagar. The chief medical officer has now ordered crackdown on negligent officers. So far, no serious adverse events have been reported by anyone who got this cocktail. Here is a detailed report by Milan Sharma.
Call it bizarre, but 20 people were given a vaccine cocktail in Uttar Pradesh's Siddharthnagar. First dose Covishield and second Covaxin. Local health officials called it a mistake, an administrative oversight. But the incident has sparked massive confusion. Is mixing vaccines dangerous or an immunity booster? Government protocol on vaccination state that people must take both shots of the same vaccine, as there is no evidence-based trial done on mixing Covishield and Covaxin shots. The villagers claim that they were unaware of what was being given, but so far have not reported any serious adverse effects after this vaccine cocktail. The Indian government health expert on vaccination says that it is not protocol, but it isn't a cause of concern either.
प्रोटोकॉल के हिसाब से हमें सजग रहना है कि ऐसे नहीं हो, बिकॉज दैट इज हाउ इट शुड बी कि पहले जो टीका लगे उसी वैक्सीन का दूसरा टीका। लेकिन फिर भी अगर ऐसे हो भी गया है, सर्टेन कर लीजिए, उस व्यक्ति को बेसिकली नॉट टू वरी।
Experts, however, say one cannot mix vaccines without proper clinical trials, and both Covishield and Covaxin are made differently based on different technologies.
यदि पहली डोज कोवैक्सिन की लगी है तो दूसरी डोज कोविशील्ड की नहीं लेनी चाहिए। सिमिलरली पहली डोज कोविशील्ड की लगी है तो दूसरी डोज कोवैक्सिन की नहीं लेनी चाहिए। दोनों ही अलग वैक्सीन्स हैं, एक वेक्टर्ड वैक्सीन है, दूसरी इनएक्टिवेटेड वैक्सीन है। एट दिस पॉइंट मिक्स एंड मैच बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहिए। जो पहली डोज ली है दूसरी डोज भी उसी वैक्सीन की होनी चाहिए।
please do not mix your vaccine.
Yes.
See, anything that is done beyond a clinical trial, we do not know what is going to happen. No doubt, there are studies going on right now, internationally, and hopefully we will have results in a few months. But at this time, you rather wait and stagger, getting your second dose, but stick to the same vaccine.
With those people who have recently gotten the two different vaccines by mistake, we should actually study the antibody response. We should take the data out of those patients who got it, see what their experience has been, if they monitor them closely, and then we will have actually a subset, a default subset, to see the safety and answer a lot of the questions.
But studies on mixing vaccines are being conducted globally. Clinical trials combining doses of AstraZeneca and Sputnik V jabs began in February, but both of these are adenovirus vector vaccines. One study in Spain found that using Pfizer for the first shot and Covishield for the second produced a potent immune response against the novel coronavirus. But the Spanish trial was conducted under supervision. Mixing doses is not recommended anywhere on the planet and certainly not outside clinical trials. With Milind Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
Vaccines are the most sought-after commodity in India, given the concerns of third wave and severe infection seen in many who did not get the shot. But there is a shortage of doses. Only 2 companies are rolling out the doses. The third, Sputnik, has limited supply. The government says they are talking to Moderna and Pfizer. Sneha with this report.
The only way to cushion the third wave is to vaccinate, vaccinate and vaccinate as many people as we can. But India's pace has been woefully slow. The reason is shortage, and there is criticism about India not being prompt in looking at procuring vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna.
We should have anticipated the same happening here a little later. We should have capitalized on the large manufacturing capacity of vaccines that India has and finalized the deals with these companies to manufacture their vaccines in India. All this should have happened 4 or 5 months ago so that we could be using those vaccines now and seeing the pandemic through by September, October 21.
We underestimated the vaccine requirement, say public health experts.
It seems to have originated from insufficient amount of time and thinking given to supply and procurement of vaccines, and more attention was given on the prioritization of target population. We also need to remember that vaccine manufacturing is a complex process, and reliance on 1 or 2 vaccine manufacturers is something like putting all the eggs in single basket.
At least in its dealings with Pfizer, the deal breaker last year was the insistence on indemnity clause, and also Pfizer's insistence on not conducting bridging studies, conditions that India's drug regulator did not agree to.
There was a lot of concern that in our own population we may have side effects which may cause problems which may not get picked up. And if that approval was given, then people would start criticizing the regulator for giving approval which were not really justified.
Now, a conversation is underway with both of these companies. The centre also justifying the centralised policy of dealing with the companies themselves.
हमने मिलके इन सब कंपनीज को, and specifically Pfizer, Moderna, J&J के साथ लगातार बातचीत और कांटेक्ट रखा. In fact, Pfizer के साथ तो confidentiality declaration वगैरह का जो करार करना पड़ता है वो भी किया.
Moderna is expected to launch a single-dose COVID-19 vaccine in India next year and is in talks with Cipla among other firms. While Moderna has conveyed to Indian authorities that it does not have surplus vaccines to share in 2021, US giant Pfizer is ready to offer 5 crore shots in 2021. But it continues to insist on regulatory relaxations, including indemnification, it enjoys in many other countries. Pfizer says it can provide vaccines in tranches of 1 crore. 1 crore in July, 1 crore in August, and 2 crores in September. Again a crore in October for supply to India this year, and that it's only going to be dealing with the Government of India, and payment for the vaccines will have to be made by the Government of India to Pfizer India. In a statement to India Today, Pfizer said that it is committed to continue engagement with the Government of India to support its fight against the pandemic and to make the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine available for use in the country. It also says the discussions are ongoing. At least 2 high-level meetings were held only last week to discuss the manner in which the widening gap between supply and demand of vaccine doses in India can be stemmed and how Pfizer and Moderna can be brought to the country. Pfizer has suggested that at least 116 countries have signed the indemnification document, and it expects India to do the same. Given the fact that over 14 crore doses of Pfizer's vaccine have been administered outside of India and very little serious adverse events, very few adverse events have been reported, and also that this vaccine is being given to children, makes the proposition of having this vaccine in India an exciting one. In New Delhi, Sneha Murdani for India Today.
There's no end to digital war between centre and tech giants. The microblogging website Twitter has so far not assigned a chief compliance officer with the IT ministry as per the new digital rules. However, it informed the government that it is, as mandated by the intermediary rules, it has appointed a nodal officer who would double up as the grievance officer. But the government has said that it won't term this reluctant action as complete compliance. Most social media networks like Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Google have assigned a nodal officer, a grievance officer and a chief compliance officer with the government.